Hey, it's Stephanie Ferrara, your empowered creativity coach. As a Christ-centered business coach, I help women in the early stages of their business to build their business in a way that is authentic to them, that incorporates their God-given talents and abilities, and is set on firm foundations for a Christ-centered, God-driven business. Today on the Empowered Creativity Show, I get to introduce you to my friend Brianna. She and I have been buddies in our coaching group, and she's actually right now helping me write a series of emails. She is newly married. Her new name is Brianna Camacho-Sexton, and she is the marketing and strategist and copy coach at Briànna Sexton and Company. Tired of living paycheck to paycheck, Brianna turned a class project into a passion project, and she combines her colorful personality and 6 years of digital media, web design, and technical writing into her practice, helping female entrepreneurs create authentic relationships through value-based marketing strategies. Brianna is a Navy wife and a rescue mom to 2 doggies. She is an avid book hoarder, tea lover, French fry fanatic, and a polyglot. I don't even know what that is. You can learn more about Brianna at briannasexton.com. But now, let's go ahead and check her out and you can meet her in person. Why don't you just go ahead and start by introducing yourself, tell us a little bit about your business and who you serve.
Sure. So I am Brianna Camacho-Sexton, and my business name is Briànna Sexton and Company, and I help female online course content creators and coaches to use email marketing and sales funnels and copywriting to boost engagement, increase connections, and earn more revenue. So that's essentially who I am. And it started 2019 as a class project that I had to put together, had to come up with a website for a company. So I went through this whole branding process, building a logo and designing a website from scratch with HTML, and put that on the back burner. Then my fiance, who's Navy, got engaged, and I realized I needed work that I could take with me. So I really jumped on the train and started asking people what they needed, and I did graphic design for a little bit, but I really fell into email marketing recently, and that's just where I've been, and I've been helping people use email marketing just front end to back end to get where they would like to go with their customers and their client journey.
Really love that with just kind of how you got into this, starting with the class project, but then realizing, like, you know, with getting married and everything, it's like, we're not sure where we're going to end up, right? When your military wife gets things, you got to really think about, like, what will travel with me. I'm in the same spot, you know, with my husband being in the Army National Guard and being, you know, where he could be moved at any time, kind of thing. And so that's really how I designed my business as well. I wanted to make sure it was something that no matter where we lived, my business went with me. And I wasn't going to have to be finding a job and all of that once we moved, but it just traveled with me. And so I love that that's how you designed your business and have decided, like, I really got to come up with something that can go wherever.
Yeah, it was funny because I knew that because my degree's in technical writing, professional writing. So I spent all this time, but any job that I looked for was 5+, 7+ years of experience. So I'm like, I'm not going to get a job. So I hired myself and started before I was ready, and here I am.
Oh, I think that's so key too. Starting before you're ready. Like, I just got to jump in. I also like that you did kind of whatever was needed, just saying, you know, what can I help you with? What can I help you with, to help figure out, like, where did you want to settle? So you were able to do, you know, a few different jobs and figure out, do I like the graphic design? Do I like the email marketing? Do I like this aspect, that aspect? And allowing yourself to experiment with that and test things out, and then say, you know what, I really like the email marketing. I'm going to settle into that.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I do want to say, you know, just to let my audience know, you have written a series of emails for me. They'll be seeing it in their inbox very shortly. And I'm excited about that. And one of the things that I want to say is just like, it was such a relief to be able to just have the conversation with you, walk through what I needed, the goals, and I know the research you did just in reading it over my website to get the tone and get how I would speak. And you've done a fantastic job. I can't wait for those to go out. I'm working on that now, like with getting them in and scheduled, tweaking a few things, because I know that's something that just for my audience to know, even when you do hire a copywriter, you're still going to have to do a little bit of tweaking and writing and making sure that everything really sounds like you, but you have to also, to grow your business, when there are some of those things that just seem to go on the back burner, you've got to find somebody else who knows what they're doing to do them, so that you're not spinning your wheels, spending time doing the things that, one, you don't enjoy, two, it's not your primary gifting, and three, to be able to spend your time in that area that you should be in, whether it's coaching or whatever that is that your business is, being able to spend that time in your zone of genius, being able to hire that out on the other pieces that maybe not so much, or even, and like for me, it's just certain types of emails that I feel like really don't come as naturally to me as some others. And so I've really enjoyed being able to work with you on that for my business. And I'm excited to see how that plays out as those emails start going out, probably later this week.
Yay.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, I've got you writing emails for me, but some of us aren't in a place, some of my audience isn't in a place where they're ready to bring somebody else in, but they're ambitious, they're go-getter business women trying to do the same thing that you and I are, which is create a business that works for our lifestyle, a business that is within the things we enjoy, so that we can really, really do life within our God-given gifts, our talents, use those, help others with those gifts that we have, being able to fill the gap where others have a weakness, where we can come in and fill that gap. And I think I don't know, entrepreneurship is just like in my bones. I think I've been trying to, I'll say trying. I've been trying to make my own business probably since I was 19, starting in network marketing and then moving on to some other business ventures and everything, and back to network marketing. But since I was about 19, that's when I first started my very first business. And it was always with that idea of, early on, it was just for fun. And then it kind of grew into, need a little kind of like a plan B. Well, if I get fired, I need to have something I can fall back on. Well, if I decide like something happens and I need extra money, I can just kind of push into this a little bit. And that's where my business for a long time was just that kind of like side business, for fun, a little bit something different. And it's a very different thing though to step into full-time business. This is not a plan B, this is plan A, and there is no going back. And I'm there no matter what, you're going to make it work, right? Yeah.
Oh, so, that's big.
So to help my audience out, I'd love for you to share, because like I said, there are some go-getter business women that are out there trying to do, and we're doing all the things in our business. And so what are some tips that you can give us around email marketing, around creating those sales emails? What are some tips that you can give us to help us with that process of writing those emails?
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to start a little bigger, because I always start with the marketing strategy before I go to the emails. So my first two tips with that, or my first tips with that, number one is to just eat the elephant, and by that I mean just like one bite at a time, just one thing at a time, and just be patient through the process, because email marketing is a beast. It's not one of those things that everybody is inherently in love with, and it can be very overwhelming as far as all of it outside of writing an email. And then when you're trying to write your emails, the first two things I will say is to step into your customer's shoes and see where they're starting and see where they are and see where you want to take them. And having that customer journey so that you can relate with them on that level. And then the next thing would be to really discover in yourself what you're trying to offer and why you're trying to do it. Because if you are serving and you're serving from a place of heart, it's going to make it a lot easier, especially when you're writing sales emails, because those can sometimes feel very salesy. And that's something I like to teach, is the very value-based. You want to make sure that it sounds like you and it feels like you and it's very comfortable. But overall, just have a conversation with a friend when you're writing your emails. Take them on a journey, no different than if you're sitting with your girlfriends having margaritas or a glass of wine. And just be patient with it. Biggest thing, be patient. And it'll come.
I think the key that I pull out of that is, part of what I teach is around really understanding and knowing intimately your niche market, and boiling it down to one person, that when you are writing those emails and you're writing your blog posts, you're coming up with your social media posts, that you're thinking about that one person, so that you're having that conversation. Like you just said, you're just sitting with your girlfriend, you're having the conversation. How would you talk to her? What help does she need? And being able to really nail it down, nail your niche into something very specific, someone very specific, so that that conversation is easier, because you know her, it's like you've created her and she's your best buddy now. and and you have to be able to do that to write an effective email, is to really touch the heart of that person. Even in a sales email, even when you're teaching something that is technical in nature, it might be a tutorial just on a tool that you use, but you've got to write it in a way that as if you're just writing to that one person, and addressing that one question that she asked you, kind of thing.
That's my biggest thing, is just knowing that one person, but not just where they are, it's where they've been and where they're going. That's my thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So one of the things that I ask my guests all the time is, and so I'm going to ask you this too, is what does it mean to you to let God lead in your life or in your business, or both?
For me, it's a place of servant leadership. I spent, about 10 years in the YMCA, and that's all that we learned about. So for me, it's those characteristics of caring and responsibility, all these values and virtues, of just being a good person and a good leader, and just kind of taking that and serving others. So I try not to think about what I want for my business, but where I can serve others, and that's how I let God lead, is by having him help me lead others through the journey.
That's beautiful. And that is key, is that servant leadership. It's something you hear over and over again, and you get into the professional development world of listening to all kinds, listening to the John Maxwell's and the Jim Rohns, and those is really around that servant leadership, and not just when it's employees, but even, with your clients, and really being able to take them on that journey with you, that allows you to serve them where they are and help them get to where they're going, what's their goal, and how do you fit in to help them get there. Zig Ziglar was the one who, his famous quote about you get what you want by helping others get what they want. And I think that's so key. That's that, leading by serving. So how can my audience connect with you? Where can we find you?
I am right now most active on Facebook. You can find me, my business page is Briànna Sexton and Company. Super hard. And I'm Briànna Sexton and Company on Instagram as well. So I will go through and do trainings on my Facebook every Wednesday around 7:30, 8 p.m. And then any random nuggets, kind of like Russell Brunson does his marketing secrets, I will pop in and give my musings on Instagram. So you can check out my stories, check out my Instagram for that. And then my website is briannasexton.com. Yeah. So those are probably the 3 best ways that you can reach me as far as getting any information or getting the dirt, the scoop on email marketing.
Very good. Well, I sure appreciate your time today and the tips that you gave us on really taking your customer through that journey and knowing where they've been, where they are now, and where they're trying to get to, so that you can write emails that help them get there and reach their goals. I thank you so much. I want to thank Brianna again for her valuable tips on email marketing and taking the customer through the journey that they need to succeed in their own business. And you do that by serving them well. And email is how you communicate with them most of the time. And her tips are fantastic. Her work for me has been amazing. So if you need a little help with that, you need some copy coaching or somebody who can write some of those emails for you, provide you some templates to use later, definitely do a strategy call with her. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. Now, in full transparency, the emails she's writing for me actually have to do with my upcoming launch of my lead 6-month group coaching program. In this program, I help women entrepreneurs who want to build a God-driven business develop those strong foundations. We will spend 6 months together building your business in a community of like-minded women who are all striving and working. Oh, I don't like that word, striving. You are all working hard to put into place a business that works for your family, that works for your schedule, and that allows you to do exactly what Brianna did, which was turn your passion into a business. And I'm excited to be able to launch this. On June 4th, 5th, and 6th, I'm going to be hosting a webinar called The 5 Foundations for God-Driven Business. During that webinar, you are going to learn key elements that are needed for your business, no matter what your business is, that develops that firm foundation, that strong foundation that we want our life and our business to be built on. When you put these 5 keys into place, it doesn't matter if you aren't faith forward in your business, so to speak. You don't have to mention God in your copywriting. You don't have to talk about God. You're not preaching from your platform. It's about what you're doing on the back end. It's how you are planning your business. It's what you're doing in your business that matters. And that's what we're going to be cultivating and developing within this. And then you have those practical business tactics that have to be put into place for your business to thrive. And that's what we're doing in my 6-month group coaching program, Lead. But in the show notes, go and sign up for the webinar so that you can get that great training on those foundations that you need for your God-driven business. Also, go and check out the show notes for the links to connect with Brianna, and make sure you get one of those strategy calls, even if just to validate what you're already doing in your marketing strategy. I think it's so helpful just to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. After this interview, we actually talked for a little while once I turned the camera off, and I love being able to brainstorm with someone like Brianna, because there's just so much gold in what she has to offer, and being able to just talk through some of the things that I needed a little clarity on, because we all need a little bit of outside perspective. And so take advantage of that, whether it's with Brianna or whether you sign up for a strategy call with me. I can help you with that same thing of getting that outside perspective on the things you're trying to do in your business. So, but number one, go sign up for the webinar. Grab the link in the comments.